expert, and we're going to unblock this process that we've created. It's a really simple process. There's a starter starting the process, and then we have a shopping cart, and then we have an exclusive OR gate. And if the shopping cart is less than $50, it goes down this route, else it goes down over $50 or $50 and over, and then the process ends, terminates. Okay, so this is our process. We've connected a form to this process here. So what we want to do is we want to go into the XOR gate, and now we want to define which of these legs we go down, depending upon an input from this form. And the form is really simple. It's a single field on a form, and that form has this single field on it. This is the form that we've connected, and it has this single field on it. Okay, and so now we go back to the let's get rid of this. Go back to the process flow diagram, and in the data of the XOR gate, we've got an input flow to the XOR gate. So there's one input, and that input is the shopping cart activity. The output, there are two options. There's a few rules here. The first option is the option that you always put the condition on. Okay, so we always have the first condition using this function called formula editor here. And what I'm going to show you here is how we do this. There's an easy way and a hard way. This is the easy way. So we need to define a variable. Let's call it value of field. Our value of field. And then there's a command called field name. Sorry, field value. Field value. Okay, this is our reference code here that we had before. So if we just say that the value of the field is a field value, and then down here in this blue half, we click on the blue hyperlink, and it takes me to pick a table, and it knows that that table is the only table I can pick because it's linked to the activity, and the activity is linked to the form, and the form is linked to the table. So you automatically get the right table, and then here you can't do it. It looks like it's grayed out, but it's not. You can actually search on this for the field, and now we can search and pick the field. Okay, so you don't need to remember the table and the field. As long as you put in this variable, which can be called anything, can be called X, or value of field, let's call it X, doesn't matter. So as long as we use the same a variable. Okay, so we've now defined that we want to look at a field value, and the field value is on the table GHTST, and the field name is value of frequency. So what do we need to do next? Okay, so we need an if statement. Okay, just want to copy this here. So we want to do a logic now, And this is where we pick the code, the logic is if, else, and, or, false, true, null, return. So if x is less than 50, okay, let's go back to our code again. If x is less than 50, return true end, okay? Okay. So we want to put return and then true and then end. 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 End is not a logic function. Come on, you can do it. So x is the field value. If x is less than 50, return true, end. Let's just see again. Look at that. Check for errors. Checking for errors here. Formula successfully verified. So that's how you can use x here to show you that it doesn't matter what we call the variable, as long as it's the same variable, it'll work. Okay? So that's how you do it using the logic and remembering that we can also pick up information from the process data as well. We will cover that in a different video. Okay, so that's how you do it. Save and exit, and that's the syntax we need to make it work. Okay, if we save and exit, so that's step one. Once you know how to do it, it's pretty quick. Now the other one is you always have the formula first in the first output flow, and then over $50, you don't need a formula there, but you must tick this default execution when no flow is enabled through the respective formulas. So you have the formula first, and then you tick this default flag here, which says, if I don't meet this condition, then I will do this out. So if I don't meet that condition, less than $50, then I will go down this route here. And they have to be in that order, not in this order. This will not work. Okay, because this doesn't have any formulas ahead of it, so it'll always go down this route. Okay, so we need to have it in this order, and then we save and exit. That's how you do the XOR gates. So thank you for that, and hopefully this will work for you and you can play around with it.